Hello and welcome to Stage 1 of Visions of Utopia. Stage 1 is called Path to Utopia. Now, first thing we want to look at here is that I don't have instant servicing or instant R&D. And if you've got this problem, you could just restart the game and it should be there. Sometimes it's there after you finish race 1. I wanted it there now. First thing I'm going to do is buy all Tier 1 upgrades. I just started doing this more often because it increases the amount of time you can do bot slowing in general. Not sure if that's going to be true here, but you know what? Better to do that and see what happens. And if you're not familiar with some of these things, we're going to get more into it. For instance, right off the start here, I'm turning around to go the other direction. And traffic will be driving in sequence. So he's to the left, next guy will be to the right, next guy will be to the left, and so on and so on. But then I got out of sequence, and I thought, oh, well, whatever. I really should be keeping moving a lot more, because this is going to be really causing a problem with my average speed. This is an average speed race, and I don't want to win it because I don't have to, but you can't just stop at the start-finish line, because then you won't be generating speed. So let's get into this if you're not familiar with it. This is a recommended PR event, which means you don't have to buy upgrades unless you need to. However, if you don't have good strategy, you might end up needing a lot more upgrades than me or other people. And you might not know, I don't mean that as an accusation, you might not know about the strategy. For instance, if you're going to finish in the top 3, the next race will definitely be more difficult. If you finish first, it's going to be even more difficult. If you finish in first place with like a 100-meter lead or a 500-meter lead, it's going to be even more difficult. When you lose races, it gets easier. And I find it's better to be in 8th place or later. It seems to get a better effect. So I didn't necessarily have to finish this all the way back in 15th. But this affords me an interesting opportunity, and that is to get a chance to feel out this car with no traffic in the way. Because I really want to know what this car is like. For instance, very few cars take the next section called Eau Rouge and Radeon. The left hand is Eau Rouge, the right hand is Radeon. Not a lot of cars take that full throttle. I just took that full throttle without any problem at all. And I mean, I've got very minor upgrades, but that tells me a lot about how this car is going to handle other tracks. This is my first time driving it, and so I've got to really learn. So there, it didn't take that quite right. Here, so you kind of get a feel here and there. Bruxelles, that's this corner. Bruxelles is interesting. Oh, that felt pretty good actually. Based on this, I don't think I'm going to have to brake a huge amount of the next corner called Pouan corner, but we'll see. I'm going to overbrake. When I'm learning a car, it's better to overbrake than to underbrake. Whoop, got onto the throttle a bit too early. Better to overbrake than to underbrake. You can always fix overbraking, like braking a bit too early. It's pretty hard to fix a late brake unless I'm drifting this thing a bit. Unless you brake just a little bit too late. That's also very fixable. It's a really good car, honestly. This is a balanced car, which I like. I don't like cars that are really fast but have horrible brakes or fast and horrible grip. Or actually, you know what? A slow car that has incredible grip and good brakes is more enjoyable than a really fast car with bad grip and bad brakes, because that's just an arrow. Like, going fast in a straight line is fun, but it's not all there is. Anyhow, I like this car. And I decided, you know what, I built up way more average speed, so I'll just finish in 15th place. And there, I passed. Didn't get as much earnings, but that's not a big deal. We're looking at saving gold. So if you drive too intensely, you're going to have to spend more gold. You're going to spend gold on upgrades. I want to try to do this without spending any gold at all. That would make this a gold positive event with rewards of 100 gold. If I don't spend any, that means I earned 100 gold. Well, that's pretty sweet if I can pull it off, which we'll see here. So in a race like this type of race, my guess is that the race will end as soon as I get in my 30 seconds of tailgating, not drafting, tailgating. So what's the difference between tailgating and drafting? I do have a video on it. I'm roughing them up a little bit. I was trying to do a complete pit maneuver here. I want to see if I can finish further back. Sometimes when in a stage like this, you finish in first place no matter where you finish, but at least I could slow down the race a little bit, drag it out, because race time, if you finish race really fast, that also affects bot difficulty. So I'm getting kind of nasty here, totally trashing. Oops. There's only 99 Pagani Utopias in the world, and I've currently ruined 2 of them. So I mean, that's like a horrendous amount of damage. But this is, I mean, part of this is just slowing him down. I'm trying to get him to fall back further in the field so that when I do finish my 30 seconds, that we're like not first and second or first and third. Man, these guys are horrible drivers. That's one problem with low-level bots, is they are really bad at driving. So maybe we'll just do a full pit maneuver on this Pagani. Ooh, that was nasty. And let's look back. What? Did he already get going in the right direction? That's obnoxious. Wow. That's a really good driver of that car. He's not driving like the bots around him. He's driving good. Well, in this stage it said to get up and tailgate for a bit if you can figure out who that is. Based on the driving style, I'm pretty willing to bet that's Magnus. Either that or Ahmed. Yeah, that'd be my guess. I mean, in one event, in the Brabham Royale, I had a stage where Norm was driving crazy fast and crazy good. But, or it could be Zoe, I don't know. But it's probably Magnus. He's the classic, the antithesis of us. He's the classic bad guy. Okay, well, I'm going to put this Pagani Utopia in the wall at this point. Get in my final tailgating here. A difference between tailgating and drafting. Drafting, you need to have your speed turning yellow. You have to be directly behind the car. Tailgating, you just need to be within the distance. You can be beside the car, out of the slipstream, doesn't matter. So that is the base difference. Place at least 5th. So what does that mean, guys? That means don't place any more than 5th. Place exactly 5th. So you always want to look at those instructions and do the minimum. So it says place minimum, place 5th, fine, place 5th, not higher. Ooh, someone was really into the smoke there. Interesting combination of cars here. There's some Jaguars, of course, multiple Paganis. But there's quite a lot of different cars here. And oh boy, they're really having trouble at Radion. Lamborghinis. Another Pagani. The fast one. Got to try to get him out of the line a little bit. Little bit of getting him out of the race line there. Okay, I've got 2. What do I have up ahead? Lamborghini. And I need to break up this group a little bit because I want to be in. These 2 Lamborghinis are driving very obnoxiously. What if I should just take one of them out? Oh, or I'll just let the Pagani get in there and then I'll drive behind him. That's not a bad idea, actually. Get up there then, man. Perfect, because this Lamborghini's a joke. One of those cars, he's fast in a straight line, and that's about it. But don't get me wrong, some Lamborghini, I'd love any Lamborghini, forget about it. I mean, they're iconic cars. But if I really want to enjoy myself, I'd want something more like this. A nice balanced race car. Well, it's not a race car, it's a street car. But it drives more like a race car, it seems. And yeah, great little car. Interesting car. Pagani is just amazing designs. Amazing lines on these cars. Interesting roof panels there. Oop. Well, that tells you how late I was doing this event. Haha. But there's like 4 windows there. I mean, including the windshield, that'd be 5. But isn't that interesting? Split panel on top of the roof and then 2 windows at the back. That's kind of cool. Interesting color too. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's unique. And hey, unique's kind of fun, right? So I'm gonna let 6th place catch up a little bit. Obviously, stage 1 is really easy, but stage 1 is where you got to be starting to initiate these strategies because sometimes there's no way you can fix it. Oh nuts! I'm being flanked by Lamborghinis. I got to start blocking these guys a little bit. Oh boy! Oh, this is getting dicey. Oh boy! Ooh, getting total wrecked at the line. Okay, well, that's kind of fun. Well, please like, please subscribe. We still have these upgrades. Playlist will be here once I can create it, as well as a tailgating drafting video if you want to know more about that. So, yeah, join me for the rest, please. Thank you.